Close to $250,000 worth of theatre costumes have been destroyed in a fire police say was deliberately lit. The loss has devastated members of the Port Macquarie Players Theatre, many of whom have devoted hundreds of hours to making the costumes.
Behind every amateur theatre production is a costume department that spends, in many cases, hundreds of hours stitching, sewing and mending. But for the Port Macquarie Players, all that's left of that voluntary labour is a charred mess. A deliberately lit fire in the theatre over the weekend has destroyed all but a few racks of costumes. Valued at close to $250,000, the garments and accessories are irreplaceable.
We had furs, sables, minks. We had like national costumes, Scottish kilts, Dutch costumes, all sorts of costumes from different countries. We had era costumes like 20s, roaring 20s dresses.
Over 20 years of costumes gone in a matter of, what, who knows, half an hour. All that work, hundreds of hours of sewing
all
costumes.
The ladies are volunteers, they've all put in their time and their hours, and just for the love of theatre.
Structurally, the theatre stood up to the fire. However, it could be months before the lighting and sound equipment is checked and repaired and the seating and furnishings are cleaned.
Well, most of the damage has been done to the contents of the theatre, mostly the costume hire, which we value at over $200,000. But there is some structural damage to the floor, the ceiling above the costume hire and the columns, and obviously the carpet above it.
The fire has forced the cancellation of some productions, including the annual Festival of Theatre, and has meant the weekly youth theatre classes will have to find an alternative venue. The fire is also taking its toll emotionally on many of the long-standing Players Theatre members.
Their war uniforms, it's just devastating.
Even in another 10 years, you won't build up what they had before, because they're just not available.